This is week 5, day 1. I forgot to tell you that. Week 5, day 1, Monday the 20th, I think, of April. So we're going into the last third of April. I need to start getting stuff in. So I have gone quite far with sewing up the sides and the panels here. But then I realized I can't enclose this thing fully yet because I need to be able to allow the pollinators in. So yeah, that was a bit of an afterthought on my part there. So what do is you leave it open. Once the pollination has taken place of all the flowers, or most of the flowers, then you cover up to prevent the blackbirds from coming in and eating all your food and fruit.
Okay, a quick interruption here. This is after the fact. I decided after about week 6 that I was just going to do weekly summaries. But at this point in time, I'm going to give you for week 5 and week 6 because I did promise that I will do that. Yeah, it jumps around a little bit here and there and there. So I'm going to cut as much as possible out so that we don't have all this rinse and repeat stuff. But my thinking has changed and progressed, so I'll just leave a few of those thoughts in here in the interim. Thank you, and thank you for your support too for this project.
I have to start with more infrastructure improvements. Where you can see my hoodie hanging here. It was still slightly damp when I grabbed it at home, so it's been drying itself lovely here this afternoon. So yeah, I develop the plans as I go along, or to develop my methods and strategies. So this bed is going to be the first one because it's an ideal situation for me because I could start from my very first visit and start documenting the whole process. And I really look forward to expanding and also to showing you as spring goes on and it turns into summer. I have a two-tier mental attitude. Tidy must be tidy because I come out of a military aviation background. Safety must be safety, but nature must be able to do what nature wants to do. So yeah, I mentioned the sweet peas, some for home and some for the bank. Well, this is day 3 of week 5. So you know all about these rows of tomatoes here. I repotted the heirloom, shop bought heirloom. So I got 9 here. I'm not quite sure what they all are. If 1 or 2 of these could be very weak and I won't use them. That's basil, multi-sown basil, as to use as herbs. I'm toying with the idea of once I start producing and doing boxes for people, potentially, that I can include those kinds of things. No sign of these other tomatoes yet, or that tomatoes. Look how beautiful these cosmos have come on. Anyway, now there's the tomatoes. Those are, I don't know, there's so many seedlings. The beetroot, multi-sown beetroot, they're not looking particularly strong, but they're also not looking too shabby. I'm sure I can soon plant them out. And then on this side, I've now started with all the, this is spun speck, this row, sweet melon or melon, South African seeds bought here locally. These are gem squash. What did I put in there? Oh yes, leek from a packet. The right hand one is cucumber of stuff. Yeah, the new sort English cucumber. That's for this bed. These are all from. I want to mix it first, and I want to just level the bed a little bit. Give that a must. Start mixing. The middle one is cucumber, the old sort, the ones that I love, and the butternut over there. So yes, seedlings are coming on well. We have ordered a tote, one of those big white bags, I thought it was a tipper load that was going to come, but miscommunication. So another one of those, over a ton of fine wood, bark, wood chip. This is day 4 of week 5. Day 4. I'm sitting out here looking at this bramble patch, which once was a bed, believe it or not. And I'm reminded, every time I look at it, I'm reminded of what a wise old man once taught me, donkeys years ago. He asked me a simple question when I sort of was scratching my head about the process of something. He said to me, "Sonny, how do you eat an elephant?" And I looked at him in amazement, because I've obviously not heard the saying before. And he said to me, "It's simple, Booty, simple." And I said, "Well, if you say it's so simple, then how do you eat an elephant?" And he said, "Well, little by little." And it made sense. It made sense. You have a big refrigerator to obviously to put the elephant in, but it's the principle that matters. When a task looks a bit daunting, how do you face it? Well, just break it up into little chunks. So I haven't got here yet. I will get here sometime. And I'll start here where it looks less daunting, and I'll work my way that way. But first I have to find the angle grinder, which has been put somewhere. Otherwise I'm going to have to use my Dremel tool to sharpen a spade, and that might just burn my Dremel tool out. Anyway, I want a very sharp spade to start this job, and heavy leather gloves, which my last pair of heavy leather gloves I left out by the fire, if I can remember correctly, and they curled up and dried out and were useless after that. So yes, how do you eat an elephant, Sonny? Little by little. What am I showing you here? This is what I collected off the leaf mold piles, one of the leaf mold piles yesterday, as a mulch. This is looking great. I have sort of semi-sorted it. Okay, so I'm going to stop waffling. I'm going to take this out, put it on another, and if I don't poke myself full of holes with that thing yet. Any case, there's lots of tasks. Another task that I want to came in here at 32, I think, or 35. I've brought it outside already. Here in the semi-shade, you see there, 20 odd in our little sun trap spot here. I want to cut this panel here so that we can put shade cloth here, same as that side, for ventilation. Otherwise, the other day I walked in here and it was 42, but I had the curtain down, so that's too warm. In the summer we're going to need ventilation, and when I'm not here I can't leave the door open. I need to do lots and lots of things. So first things first, I want to start mixing the compost up for the mulch, and so we'll go on and enjoy our fun. That bed looks terrible, but I changed my plan. I was going to start with that one, but I'll now start with this one, for the reason that we'll have overhead. So the first tomatoes and cucumbers and squashes to want to come out will be here in the sunny part, and this, if I take my line straight across here, over here, so we'll be able to plant all along there, and even along the two sides, things that go up, for sure. Fun and games. Right, that's as level as what I'm going to make it. Now we'll start with cardboard and we'll start adding our mulch layer. But just before I do that, I just want to get one of those timbers across here quickly and see how it will work on the brick. I might have to pin it on this, on the outsides, because I'm going to make hoops as I've described before. But you'll see that happening soon too, because I have to, before I plant anything, I have to have cover, either shade cloth or, in this case, probably shade cloth or plastic. So let's get the show on the road. The bed, not only the beds must be done, the infrastructure for the beds must also be done. Well, you get the drift now. These long lengths are 4.2. I've sawed them 2 meters by 4.2. That's the bed size. So that is the infrastructure for the bed coming together. That is mixed through nicely. I want to sew this together first, and then I'll measure the shadow netting, but I'm sure the shade cloth will fit if I make low hoops. And then obviously I won't secure the shade cloth, I'll just pull it over the hoops so that I can move it to in and out. This is what I lay awake at night and work out and scheme and connive. And I've kept those wires there, those wire mesh panels, because I'm going to hang one of them there on that side for the peas, and then I'll hang another one on this side for the beans later on in the summer. I was busy telling you a whole long porky story, but I had forgotten to push the start button, the record button. Anyway, this is the activity that we've been carrying out there. That's just going to stay there. I need to complete the frame first, as I've said, but here we go. The batten has been secured and welded in place there with 2 screws. Wood welding, you know about wood welding? I'm going to cut this out and secure it's temporarily. I have to find new battens because these are rotten, as you can see. So then I'll remove all of this stuff and put new battens, and then I'm going to cut it and make a stable door out of it, so that when we're here it can be closed. And even then, if it's warm in the summer, I can leave the top half open and the dogs can't get in. And well, so I hope they can't get in. A panel. Quickly, it's temporarily attached because I need to get fresh strips so that we can re-strip the whole outside of the door myself. And I'll fix it up. Tomorrow we'll build another. No, not tomorrow, Monday. Sunday we don't do much. We only come and evaluate what's going on. I'm still a firm believer that one that shouldn't be working on a Sunday. One should relax someday, irrespective if it's a biblical principle or not. One should still come and relax. But I have to. This is the thing. When you do things like this, you have to. You can't neglect watering and checking up on your things, because it will just become a waste of time then. So there you go. Enough waffle. Day 6 of week 5. I hope you're going to have a superb weekend or day or whatever by the time you view this. Thank you for your support for this project thus far, and for your views and comments and the likes. I will note again, if you do want to buy me a coffee to support our endeavors here, then feel free to do so. Just note that it is for this project and not for my other stuff that I do. Thank you. Off we go into the moonrise. Soon it'll be full moon. I'll be planting more seeds to try out the full moon theory. Well, the bird song should tell you where I am. And it's day 1, week 6. Yes, I'm here, and I've taken the bravery of plonking the car right here, hidden away, because nobody can see that I'm not on top on the slope there now, way up there. So we have loads of tasks to be working on today, including, well, this week, not today only, including We walk around the
cracking
corner.
on with getting this all
start
sealed where
happening.
it must be sealed for now.
This cardboard on this, but I first want to finish these bits and pieces. I've cut notches in the 2 meter sections, as you can see there. Notched it. I brought a chisel along and they're asked to do that and to join them together. Dahlias are looking well. Tomatoes are looking well. Do we see any signs of anything arising out of the other pots? Yes. There's 10 sunflower seeds. There we go. Sunflowers are starting to happen. The marigolds are looking good. We're seeing signs of this is now again. And I have a special purpose for this big thing that I brought today, and I'll show you later. Yeah, we'll work on all of these little projects this week, and I trust that you will enjoy the content that I supply and provide. I was waffling on, telling you all about how there's something strangely satisfying about operating a chisel by hand, as you can see from my little curlies there. Yeah, well, so now I have told you all about that, so I can neaten this up, tidy this up, and then what's going to happen is we're going to take this. I just got a splinter from sliding this lot. Oh, there I dropped my chisel. I'm unhandy, aren't I? So yes, here we go. Slap that in there, and then we'll drill and secure like so. There you go. I'll show you the end result when the end result wants to be revealed. And then cardboard down. Oh, there's method in the madness. And then when I'm tired of bending and stretching and bending and stretching, then I'll go and stretch above my head and do some sewing. There's still quite a bit of sewing to be doing. Well, the frame is laid. There is something vaguely, just vaguely satisfying about stripping cardboard of all its tape and staples to lay it down. For that to start going there. Yeah, look at that. All good stuff in here. And we'll help all of that onto there very, very shortly. Just let me put edges in there while I'm at it. This side needs an edge extension too. And then we can start with the arduous task of filling up this bed. And so the process will go. I invite you to join me for this. I just put this cardboard over here to prevent me from losing anything over the sides, so we'll just leave it like that for now, and then we might get a third of this bed, covered. That will mean maybe slightly more. Let's say we get 40% of it covered. That will mean that we need another at least 5 wheelbarrows of stuff. Well, in the process of mixing this, we are anything surplus is going indoors. So there's no loss in mixing more. I don't really want to stick my posterior in your face, so let me try and do it like this. This is actually lovely stuff, this nice and friable, nice and workable. I don't know if you can see the outside edge there, so let's see if I take you and I put you down here on this corner, and then you can see what's cutting There goes the bus again. Like so. Right, you don't have to watch me at it much longer, do you? I have one more trick up my sleeve, but that will be revealed later when the trick material arrives. Yeah, and just by the way, I know what they say about the hindsight of a donkey, and you might be right in thinking exactly what I know you're thinking. There you go. Fun. Endless. I told you I had a use for that tub. Now, I'm sure you sharp-eyed folk can already see what that use is. So I'm just going to put a thin layer of soily. I will move this tub compost tub to the warmer side of the tote once I have made some inroads into neatening the place up. It looks a bit like a no, I can't use the saying, can I? May I? I can use it, but may I? We used to have a saying in my young days, as untidy as a lady of ill repute's handbag. Who knows, maybe they don't even carry handbags, so they haven't got untidy handbags. Well, I'll pipe up now before the woke PC police call me a MCP. Yeah, for sure. Smoothing it down. Yes, you can walk on it because it's well aerated, well drained, well everything. So you walk on it just to smooth it down. Okay, this area here I must still cover with the final topping on the top. Yes, the top of the icing. There we go, round and round and round and round. Okay, so now I'm wearing my slow wheel safety shoes today. A quick change of plans. Look at that. Well, after a lot of consideration and thought, this load of mushroom substrate, I do believe it's potentially spent. So it is good as an immediate mulch, an immediate planting medium. However, it's very coarse. So, guess what? Yours truly has decided to do. I'll pause here and at the click of the fingers, I'll return and show you what he's decided to do. Well, there we go. You guessed right. He's decided he's going to put it through the mower. Now you'll see how much finer and more friable it has become immediately. Now. Dump it shallower, don't flip and build a big heap and try and mountaineer with a mower. Mower mountaineering, as it's commonly known as. And so we'll go on and we'll mix this through because we need, that's basically one wheelbarrow. We need 2 more wheelbarrows of the mushroom substrate in there, plus 2 barrows of the older year-old type, plus 1 barrow of fresher leaf mold. So come for 3 different sources. So let's go and fetch another one and see how that goes for us. This is my view on this afternoon. I was attempting to get that bed complete there, all the mulch laid in, mixed and all those kind of things, and then put a bark chip layer on the top. So it's getting a tad too damp now for my liking. So I've come to sit in here to admire all the little seedlings that are doing so well So
popping
I
up
think I
all
shall
over.
sit and do that as I contemplate my fate and my lonely sleeping for the next week, because the good lady fairy princess is winging her way across the Atlantic Ocean to go and visit the son and his wife and the little darlings there. She's going with the other son and his wife and his little darling, and I have a sneaky suspicion this is a contrived birthday prezi that they worked out. 6 day 6, the last day that I'm here. I skipped one day on Friday, wasn't here, hence the missing day. This is how far we have progressed with the first bed. I'm not really going to do much else today. I'm not doing anything on a Sunday, but I thought I'll come and show you the wrap up here quickly. So I got wise with this mushroom substrate, let's call it compost substrate, whatever it was. Ran the mower over anyway, and it works much better. Show you quickly at the end of this week. That pile of stuff there is bugging me a little bit. Okay, so those are our dahlia seedlings, tomato seedlings. I sprayed them today with some of our liquid fertilizer, diluting it about 1 to 15. You'll see I'm removing this, soon it'll be gone. I've put wood chip down there to build a wood chip lane down the edge, on which I want to put grow bags in inverted commas with a mixture of home compost and that compost and leaf mold mixed up. So look at all our seedlings really starting to look against the back wall there, and hopefully when you see this tunnel again it will be prettier than this. That is ginger in there. These are dwarf peas coming up here. Those are climbing peas coming up there. This is my experiment with the different composts. I planted one sunflower because I know the sunflower seeds are viable, and one radish, both homegrown. You can see the corn. This is the variegated all sorts color. These three are just sweet corn. The good lady says she won't eat that, so we had to plant sweet corn for her. That's carrots as an experiment. Those were seeds that I experimented with right in the beginning to see if they were viable. So I thought I'll just plant them in there. They've got a bit of length to go down there still. Right, so this is going outside, getting chopped up by the lawnmower. And then I'll build 2 rows, distinct rows here, to conserve compost as best I can. Mixed compost, the same thing as what's going into the bag, and with that too, yeah, so it looks a bit messy here, but it's not that messy. It will be ship shape once I've got these seedlings big enough to start planting them out.
I thought it good to show you how well things were looking after week 6 when it comes to all the seedlings, until in week 7 I did the dastardly deed of killing many of them with my too potent mix that you saw me use just a little bit earlier. That was very diluted, and I tried to redo it and made it too strong. Me, bad.
So these, of the 20 sunflower seeds that I planted, 17 arose, which is a good conversion number. What's that? 18 would be 90%, so 85% success. So that's why I replanted them, and that's how it's looking now. It's looking lovely, really, 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 really. I'm energized by the fact that the seedlings are doing so well. You'll see all sorts of other stuff here. There's my notepad over there, which I do jot things down so that we can keep record. So that's the end of week 6. What I want to say, from next week, I'll just give you a summation, because you've seen how many times have you seen me sow seedlings, transplant seedlings, doing this, doing that, working on the beds, clearing. I need to show you, I'm sitting there in the shade. I had a call, the good ladies in the US of A, I had a video call from her, and I spoke with the granddaughters and with their mammy. She's very interested in the tunnel project. Anyway, so yeah, this is the short I did, the elephant, how do you eat an elephant. That was just a 2-minute trial. So there's a lot of stuff. So you rake all the leaves and the debris away, the debris, you know, the debris. Then you'll see what you have to then take the roots out of all the brambles and the nettles. I think I want to tidy this up a bit here, and then we can get cracking with week 7 next week.
Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and ring the bell to receive notifications.
After that, but as always, thank you for your support. If you do feel like financially helping a bit, which would be appreciated, buy me a coffee or a beer, or just state it's for this project. I will appreciate it. I know I'm not begging. I just think if you do get any form of entertainment value from my videos and from my channel, then I'm not taking money out of your pocket for zero value, am I? Okay, that's enough of that. Be good, as I always say. Stay safe, stay free, and be happy. And food freedom might become a thing if you listen to many of the doomsday sayers. Then food freedom, the supply chain is going to become very, very congested and difficult and blocked and all sorts. So you might want to think of sowing a few seeds yourself and eating your own fresh food, even although when we look up and we see what they're dumping from the skies, and it's a known fact now, it's no conspiracy theory anymore, it's just fact, common fact, that they polluting the skies and the earth from the skies. So yeah, it might be beneficial for you to plant a thing or two. Right, I've stopped pontificating right now, and off we go, homeward bound. Picked up a bag of charcoal, and I might just go and have a wee little single man braai, just for the fun of it, just to say that I can. Okay, off I go. Bye.